Hey there. Welcome to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. This is Conan O'Brien. What are you giggling about already?
Because you tried to play the school marm and shut us up right before this began, and Sona and I are snickering away.
Yeah.
Sona wouldn't stop talking, and we needed to get the show started. And here's the problem. Sona, when she's talking a lot and you want her to maybe talk a little less so that we can get something done.
Okay.
Hold it. Listen.
He's got his hand
He
up.
always changes the narrative to make himself look more
You go nuclear.
reasonable.
You go nuclear.
You change the narrative to make yourself look more reasonable. You've done this every single time.
I'm a reasonable man.
You're a criminal. You're an absolute criminal. And you need to be killed.
Well, listen.
That's why we brought you here today. Do you notice the plastic on the floor?
I do. I feel like Joe Pesci. Oh, shit. Blam! I'll tell you what was going on before we started even recording today. We got into a big heated discussion because it feels like there's a generation gap.
There is.
Matt Gourley and I both love to talk about things from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And Sona, you, and not just you, but also Eduardo and Adam, you're all from a different generation, and you're constantly saying, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
And so I need to address this because this venture, this podcast, I worry, are we alienating people with our old references?
Or bringing everybody in because, as we've discussed on this podcast before, we're almost all exactly 10 years apart in 3 different generations.
Yep.
Millennial, Generation X, and Boomer.
Yeah.
So we're covering all bases.
You guys, it's not that you're talking about your generation either. You're talking about things older than you two. Like, you're talking about things from the 60s, but you were born in the 60s. So I know you didn't watch that stuff in the 60s when it aired. You, like, went back and did that, and that's what you did,
Well, I want to say
so
my
it's
generation...
cheating.
Excuse me, it's not cheating. My generation... my generation and Matt's generation, here's how we're different.
Yeah.
We're somewhat aware of things that happened before we were alive. Reading about them.
Wow.
Researching them.
Let's attack my generation and every generation
For you, everything that happened before 1997 doesn't exist.
How do you even educate yourself with things that are going on now?
Yes.
Sure, you
See,
don't.
that's the thing. You
no,
won't go
you
forward and you
don't.
won't go backward. I'm in the middle playing Rover. I speak both your languages.
No, you don't,
Sure I
Matt.
do.
No, you don't.
Hey, guess what I listen to?
Tamagotchi, Pokemon.
I know what's happening. You act like...
Tamagotchi.
What? Sailor Moon.
No, you guys are equally as guilty.
No,
Guilty?
I do try to understand the new music. I do try. This morning I was listening
The new music.
You know, the new music.
How about the new way people speak about
Hey,
things?
I dig your new sound, Cat.
I bought a...
This is painful.
I
You
bought
gotta
a
admit.
record this morning.
I'm with Sona on this one.
Yeah, thank you. This is how you guys are. If you
Hey,
have time.
excuse me. I'm the guy who last summer went with my daughter to Coachella, checked out Japanese Breakfast. This morning I'm listening to Wet Leg. I think they're terrific. I'm trying. I'm making an effort, but also I know that America had a civil war from 1861 to 1865. And you
can I say,
know about the Goonies.
Yeah, I do.
And you know...
I'm with you on the Goonies.
Oh my
I
God.
love the Goonies.
I love the
But
Goonies.
here's the thing with you too. It's like, okay, I know what the Civil War is. I know what happened. You're like, on this date, exactly at this time, this cannon was shot, and then that happened. Why do you need to know all of that? Like, why
don't.
can't I just know big picture stuff? You're like, you should know what happened on this date 400 years ago. Like, nobody knows that stuff. You know?
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I guess I should
Oh
spend...
no, I
Nobody's
didn't
wrong.
expect it to go that way.
People
now,
who can
now
do
I'm
what you want. You can
uncomfortable.
do what makes you happy. See, this great peacemaker in the middle generation who wants to make both people happy.
You know what? You are the child of a couple that fights bitterly.
I am a child of divorce.
Yeah, and you're... and so you're... I can see it. I can see
Mommy
it.
and Daddy are fighting again. It's happening all over again.
I'm the child of people that should have divorced. But that's a different thing. but you, I'm just saying, this is really fascinating to me that I saw what you were doing right there, which is no, you're both right. Can we just go get ice cream and everyone's good?
Can we?
You're a good mommy and you're a good daddy.
You both have photographic memory too about things.
No, I don't.
But not
Yeah,
things that
both
matter.
Of you do. You both really
Mine's
remember a lot of details.
heads
You'll
full of
remember a
garbage.
scene from a show that happened, 50 years ago. I don't remember what I watched like 2 days
That's because
ago.
Sona, you have something called priorities. You
Yeah,
have
that's true.
a healthy understanding of things that are important in life, and we don't.
Right.
I didn't expect the conversation to go this way.
Well, I will say-
because I think you guys also are healthy, have priorities.
You don't have to say.
Don't back down, Sona.
See, this is how you diffuse Sona. Do you understand that?
I'm learning. I'm learning from the master.
It only took you 14 years.
But I do think, yes, it's a struggle, but one must stay current. One must stay current. It's just, and this is why it's good that you're here, Sona, and you, Eduardo. It's good that you're here to say we don't know what you're talking about, because I'm sure there are some listeners out there who, if you and I go on a long run about Smokey and the Bandit, are saying, what are they talking about? Classic movie, 1977, monster hit.
There's just so many good movies.
There really aren't. There really aren't.
There are.
No.
I think there are a lot of really, really good movies. And I think that, it's
Yeah,
just
but you
really
have
hard to watch a lot of them, especially the ones that were made a long time ago. And if they're not on a streaming service,
What are your favorite movies?
I go by genre. My favorite comedy is probably Galaxy Quest. I love Adaptation. I've always loved...
These are solid choices.
Yeah.
Thank
They
you.
are.
for
No,
signing
they are.
off on it.
No, I'm not being
They're good.
sarcastic.
My favorite rom-com is Moonstruck. What are your favorite movies?
Hey,
I
look,
mean,
we're just interested. We're not. You don't
I know,
need to
I
get
feel
defensive
attacked.
about
You got
I
this.
know,
very
I did.
defensive,
You
and
know
we
what?
were
I know.
actually, that
Mom.
was supposed to be a sweet question.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I got very intense.
No, I thought one of your choices was on the money, and I think, and then the other just big swing and a miss.
Also, you know what? I came in real revved up on this because you did the quiet thing
That's
to
true.
me right before, because that upsets me.
It does upset you.
You did
and that's
those
why I
little
do
clam
it.
hands.
I do the little clam hands, and I do it because it makes Sona crazy. But you were talking a lot. You were on a roll. You wouldn't stop, and then I just do the little shh, and I do. It's Dr. Evil does it. Remember when you say,
Yes.
"Can we have a little shh? Can we have a little shh?"
All right.
And then you just see red,
I do. I get
and then
mad.
you attack.
Well, also before that, you looked at Adam like, intervene here and quiet her up.
Quiet this woman!
That I would like to see.
Would someone take?
He did though. He looked at you like, intervene here.
Would someone quiet this woman? She's hysterical.
Get a pail of water.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
I got
what,
it hot.
by the way, that's what Stanton did when Lincoln was on his deathbed after being shot in Ford's Theater.
See, I'm with you.
Hold
Sona,
it,
on
listen.
this.
Mary Lincoln kept coming into the room and wailing and screaming and throwing herself on the body. And finally, Stanton, of course, the Secretary of War, says, "Someone get this hysterical woman out of here!" And they carried her away from her dying husband.
Why would they do that?
Because it's Stanton. You don't fuck with him. He just prosecuted a war successfully for 4 years.
So he died.
And he had a
and
massive beard.
His wife wasn't even at his bedside.
Probably a good idea.
I have never
She
more
was-
confidently held up this rap sign
No,
before
but I
in
don't
my
understand
life.
this. This is upsetting. Isn't this upsetting?
It was a different time, and Mary, she shot him. Some got shot right in front of her. She was hysterical.
I find that it was a different time. Excuses going over well these days. Does that,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I'd like to right now say that I think. Wait a minute. No, I'm not going to say any of that. I was going to do it as a joke, and then I thought, nah. They're going to just read it as a transcript at the trial. So, and then I'm like, Your Honor, it's clear that I'm exaggerating for the humorous content. Cut to me at a newly opened Alcatraz prison.
Just for you.
Opened just for me. And you guys come by on a boat and wave at me.
You got no audience and you're just walking the island.
You guys
I would
are
like it
allowed to
there.
like whatever you like. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I make fun of you.
No.
too.
You too.
That's
you too.
not cool of me to do that.
We're
you should
all
enjoy it.
we're all friends. Remember, Stanton, Secretary of War, giant beard.
I won't
Had
remember.
Mary Lincoln removed from the well, it's of course the Peterson house.
Remember, too, if you're just talking Alcatraz, you can watch Escape from Alcatraz or The Rock. It depends on what generation you're in.
Escape from Alcatraz.
The Rock.
The Rock.